Video games have always affected our lives deeply. They have been everywhere since the 1980s. However, their form constantly changed. Everyone had their own favorite games that they loved to play, and my favorite game is Banjo-Kazooie. However, even though I consider this franchise as the best 3D franchise created before 2005, it is not even in a similar situation as it used to be today. Today, I'm going to tell you a story, the story of a fallen game with full potential. If you're ready, let me start. 1995 is when our story starts. That year was an important year for all the fans of the game when Rare decided to make a 3D game all by itself. Now, if you do not know about Rareware, it was a company that was owned by Nintendo for various games, including the famous Donkey Kong Country series. In 1996, Nintendo made its own 3D platformer game called Super Mario 64. SM64 gained instant popularity among various communities, especially little children that already loved to play Mario in its 2D style. Developers of the Banjo-Kazooie were aiming to surpass SM64 in any single aspect possible, and they really went for their goal. 2 years later, Banjo-Kazooie finally came out. The game is actually famous, and it is considered better than SM64 by various people. It was not as popular as SM64, which was natural due to Mario's immense popularity in the gaming community at the time. However, Banjo-Kazooie was still considered a successful game on the market. In 2000, Rare came out with a sequel game to Banjo-Kazooie that was called Banjo-Tooie. The new game was planned to have even more features than the first one, and they have succeeded at it. Banjo-Tooie was praised by various game critics due to its massive levels that were replayable, and the graphics that were constantly higher than the standards of the time. By the way, when I was talking about the level size being massive, I am talking about an enormous size. You could think that Banjo-Kazooie already was a polygonal game with 14.5 hours of game time. In Banjo-Tooie, this was increased to 3.5 hours. The game time was not the only aspect that helped Banjo-Tooie to get praised this much. There was a multiplayer mode that was capable of having as many as 4 players. 2 successful games gave courage to Rare, and they announced that they were planning to make a third game that would have even more features. However, their plan was stunned due to an upcoming challenger that was going to ruin everything for the growing franchise. Nintendo had a money shortage in the early 2000s. This caused Nintendo to sell Rareware afterward. After that, Microsoft and Rareware collaborated in various games, including Kinect Sports and Rare Replay. After some time, Microsoft decided to give Rare a mission to make a sequel for Banjo-Kazooie. Rare started to work on a game that would finally satisfy the long-awaited requirement of the sequel. Various commercials were made, and in the end, Rare managed to create a third game called Banjo and Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts. However, it was a true disaster. The game was hated by fans. It was a racing game in the first place, and it lacked literally everything to make it perfect, except the graphics. This was the story of a game with a disastrous end. I hope you liked this video, and if you like our videos, please consider subscribing. As always, it was Absolute Times.